And we're back with more Worlds Dawn.
Yes.
Again, I'm David, and this is Mike.
Mike.
We will be playing an undetermined amount of this game.
All of it. We're going through all of it.
Possibly all of this game.
Possibly all of it.
At the moment, just going around trying to meet all of the Sugar Blossom Village villagers, all the lovely faces that make up this
Zachary.
community. Zachary. I like it. Was that little howdy.
Howdy. So, we've kind of, just seeing like the art style so far. So talk a little bit about this art style and like both where kind of like it came from and like the conception behind it.
Yeah. So like I said, I wanted it to kind of I wanted it to pop a little bit more than your average RPG Maker game. I wanted it to be colorful, vibrant. Probably the strangest inspiration would be something like Wind Waker with like cel shaded games.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of give it that obviously it's not cel shaded, it's 2D, but wanted to give it that vibe of like kind of like a cartoon, a little bit like a cartoon.
Yeah, but it's still so crisp and full of detail. I love the art style. I absolutely love it.
It's hard for me, hard for me to take compliments, but just as hard for me to go back and look at it because I don't think of myself as an artist. For like the real art in this game, the character portraits, I went to somebody else who was like actually amazingly talented and she has a background in it.
You kind of have the idea of what you want it to look like. So like as much as it was done by another person, it's still like at heart kind of your art. So.
The characters, I definitely went through several versions of the characters too in like different styles before I eventually settled on the one person in their style. Ivory Rosario is the character artist. But yeah, so I go back and I look at like all the stuff that I did, which is I guess everything else in the game, like all the UI and all the tile sets and everything, and all I see is stuff that I could improve now if I went back. But again, I'm not a professional artist, I would say. And my next game, A Story Beside, is that's more me compiling graphics that other people have created, like the original graphics, licensing, really amazing artists and putting that all together instead of like trying to do every single thing from scratch because having done that with Worlds Dawn, it's kind of a lot of work.
We're looking forward to that for sure.
It's this game is something I started in 2010.
Oh man,
which at this point is nearly a decade ago.
Oof.
And there are still, as much as I did iterate and polish things, there are still elements of it that kind of date back to 2010. And 2010 David, who was a much less experienced developer. And
you're more grizzled now.
I'm more grizzled now. I had a lot to learn. Let's just say that. And I still do, obviously. Oh, yeah. I'm still just like a, sole indie developer who's trying to figure it out, but let's just say if I were to remake this game now, or if I was ever going to go back and polish it up, there's a lot I would do differently, which is probably true for any person in any creative project. So I guess never being satisfied, like it's not a bad thing necessarily.
Yeah. Oh man, and it's getting to that nice evening time.
I do like the way
it's just
I do like the way the evening looks. Probably better than the daytime.
It's like such a smooth transition to it too. Like the lamps just kind of light up. It's really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's something. Once I identified the point of the game, the theme of the game is learning is like finding a home in this little farming community, right? So like I wanted it to be, even though it is cartoony and very stylized, I wanted it to be atmospheric in its own way. Mm-hmm. And when it's nighttime or when it's raining or when it's snowing later on, like I wanted it to really feel like you were in this little town in the middle of winter or in the middle of a rainstorm. We're at 15 out of 26. I'm doing okay by not really thinking about it, just kind of wandering around the village.
That's the best place to to meet new,
Yeah.
You're just kind of wandering,
Yeah.
You don't have your map and just like pegging all the buildings.
Yeah, we're learning our way around the town. That's something I still
Yeah.
know like the back of my hand for sure. Is the layout of the town. And it's hard because I haven't returned to the game myself, but I do like I've watched people on YouTube play it and Twitch and that sort of thing, and it's like watching them the first few days just like stumble around and like go the complete opposite direction for like 30 seconds. I'm like, no, turn around, go back the other way.
Yeah, it took me a little while to get just
Yeah,
the layout of
it's
the
not-
map,
I mean,
but
it's not a
partly
small
because I
town.
think, like, especially for me, like I was like looking at everything, like when I first came to the
Yeah.
town, I was like, oh look, the bridge, like the trees, and like I
Well,
wasn't even paying attention to direction, and then I was like, okay, wait, I actually should pay attention because I need to know,
Yeah.
where to go and stuff.
There's certainly a I mean, it's like that for any game.
Yeah.
There's like a language of the game that you start to understand, and some things make sense right away. Some things maybe not so much. Like things that are glowing on the ground. Those are things you can pick up, but there's no use walking to anything else and hitting the button to try and interact with it because.
I mean, I know in real life, if I see something glowing on the ground, I immediately pick it up and stuff it in my pockets. I may need it later.
Pockets sometimes just like eat it.
Yeah, you never know. Just standing up, just sample it.
Yeah. Oh, look at all the stuff that we're gonna do eventually. We're
Yeah.
gonna go
Oh,
fishing.
man.
There's the mine up there. We're probably gonna do some mining.
Probably.
Oh, look at that. There's something maybe we could collect with a glass bottle.
I wonder what it could be. It's always fun to see like those mechanics and being like, I don't necessarily have the tool for it yet, but I gotta remember it.
Definitely.
That always I get like Legend of Zelda vibes
Yes,
from that. It's
absolutely.
like, oh, okay, this rock is too heavy for me to pick up. I better remember that these rocks are here because I'm gonna need to come back
It's a
later
very,
on.
very Zelda thing for sure.
But I love that because it also it helps give a sense of progression,
Yeah.
like where you couldn't interact with this before, but now you can.
And it's such an exciting feeling too when you get an item. Like you see a heavy rock and you're like, okay, I can't move that. But then once you get the item that says now you can pick it, you realize what it's for.
And then you're like,
all the times that I remember seeing those heavy rocks, can go back and explore the world and unlock more things. And the stray cat looks hungry. That's so sad. We're gonna need to feed that stray cat.
Yeah.
Maybe take him home.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers.
Maybe. Spoilers.
Oh man,
Definitely going to have to.
It is late. We've been wandering around. It's gonna take us back automatically to our.
Staying out too late.
Staying out too late.
Time to go home for the night.
Well, there's one day down.
That was a pretty good day. Like, what, 15, 16 villagers, something like that?
Somewhere there.
Yeah.
Who do we
Not
still
bad.
got? All right, so we got to hit up the craft shop, which is right next door. Petal and Dimitri will be in the same general, town hall area. Violet and Bloom up at the farm. Yeah, we didn't get there till a little too late. Cole, he's one of the harder ones because he's he wanders. I can never keep track of where he is at any given point. Same with Senna and Logan are kind of around.
They're somewhere.
Yeah, they're somewhere. Look, check the wiki. They might have it.
And Quinn.
Quinn is yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check the forecast for tomorrow. Ooh, rains. And lightning.
Heavy rains. Finish your errands.
Can't go back out now. It's too late. Save it real quick. And go to bed.
Wait, was that
That was me.
for real?
Could you tell?
That I was gonna say
Yeah.
I heard that. I'm all like was that you?
I
just
forgot.
here?
I think that's the only sound effect that the player. I could be wrong, but I think that's the only sound effect that the player makes, and I guess I just didn't. I didn't bother finding
the
someone
first
else.
episode. I had you demo. You got to do it right now. Oh, that's pretty good. I feel relaxed.
And another fun fact number 64. I think, again, I could be wrong. I might not be remembering this quite right, but I think the female character is just mine with the pitch
Really?
cranked up. Yeah.
We're gonna have to find an
I'm
example
pretty
of
sure
that.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Oof.
I think it was at some point. If it's not in the finished game,
Yeah.
it definitely was at some point.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if we can find
Yeah.
an example of it. So you move into town. You step out that second day and it's torrent storming
It is.
out.
atmospheric, like I
Yeah.
was saying.
Yeah.
And we're down a bit of energy because we didn't get a full night's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I will maybe head to the town hall. Barley, what are
You
you
got a
doing
couple-
out here? It's way too... Oh, well, still only 15? Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got some work to do, but it's fine. There's
Yeah.
no rush.
Yeah, we can track down the specific people we need to track down. Not in here.
Not in here. Ooh, but a letter.
Letter. You want this one?
No, you do this one.
Dimitri.
Yeah.
Okay. Mom and Dad, the day is here. I could hardly sleep last night. I was so excited to welcome this new neighbor. That's us. I'm sure you both feel the same. Ever since Noah and Emma passed away, things have been changing in Sugar Blossom. For the worse, I think we can all agree. Having to watch dear friends leave town has been tough, so it's great to see someone new move in for a change. I can't help but feel that today is the start of something wonderful.
Noah and Emma. Ah, that sounds so familiar. But I'm
Could
sure.
it be?
I'm sure it's not important or
No,
anything like
no,
that.
no.
So, we have maybe a comment or question to ask.
Sweet, some feedback
Yeah,
already.
So from at Let the Body Fall, still breaks my heart that the people I wanted to marry were married to each other. Looking at you, Alexander, Cole, and Amber, but mostly everyone.
Aw.
Why aren't Paxil or Dimitri marriage candidates? Discuss.
Paxil or Dimitri? Paxil, I would say I wanted to create a character who was kind of outside of the village. Like he's, he leaves town. Again, spoilers. He leaves town after a few days and only comes back once in a while. So that would kind of make things tricky if you married him. If
Long
he was
distance
only
relationship.
long distance relationship, I didn't think it would quite work out.
Yeah.
I also wanted to leave him kind of ambiguous in a little ways, like in terms of his age and his,
Yeah.
he's a little mysterious. He's the one Sugar Blossom villager that doesn't live there full time. So yeah, just kind of this aloof,
He's so roguish, though. I just love it.
Yeah.
And Dimitri?
Dimitri, I don't have as good. an
Okay,
experience.
that's fine.
Again, that's one of the ways that I sort of had to limit myself. I wanted each character, like each romance character, to have, to feel like you'd earned something by
Yeah,
romancing
yeah.
them, and to have them feel at least somewhat unique. And it just, that means you can't have everybody romanceable. So he wasn't one of the ones that I picked. So, yeah, not a great answer.
Well,
probably
it's
unsatisfying.
at least a
but-
little insight, absolutely.
Yeah.
You make every character so likable, there's gonna be some when it can't happen.
Ideally, every single person in the village would be romanceable,
Yeah.
right? Barley, you could just
hey, buddy.
jump in there. So I don't have any idea where at this point Dimitri is or
Yeah.
Petal. That's who I was hoping to see at the town hall.
Yeah. Well, you could wander up to the farm.
Could wander up to the farm. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I will do that. Oh, there's Senna.
Oh, well, there you go.
Somebody new.
Doing the post office work.
Hello there, neighbor. I am Senna, the one and only postwoman here in Sugar Blossom. I don't know why I gave her that voice. That
Oh, that's a good voice. I like that. I like it.
We're here in Sugar Blossom. All right.
Sugar Blossom. I like it.
Probably run into one another around town since my work has me traveling from door to door every day.
This is that part where you're like, how about the weather? Yeah, kind of stretch your arms. The small talk.
Ooh, something new here. Oh, we already met Indigo. Crap. Okay. And Brent.
And Bryn, yep.
Might as well. Yeah. True.
Very true.
Yeah. So the dialogue, the responsive dialogue, I that was one thing that always bothered me in this sort of life sim, farming sim. These games, the characters always felt kind of robotic, where they would just repeat the same few lines of dialogue each time you talk to them, day after day after day. So there's over 100 variables that can
Wow.
determine what any person
Sure,
says
yeah.
at any given point when you talk to them. And each one has a different priority level. So obviously when you're outside talking to somebody, most likely they're gonna reference the lightning,
Yeah.
as Quint is doing.
It's cool to have that kind of dynamic, conversational.
Yeah, and again,
work.
something that you might completely miss if you are treating this like a more traditional farming sim,
Yeah.
where you're just min-maxing, how do I make the most money off my farm right
Yeah.
away? You're probably not going to notice that Quint is saying 6 different things
Yeah.
when you talk to him 6 different times. So
And I love especially how like we're still meeting people. Like we haven't even worried
Yeah.
about anything yet. We're still like seeing what the game has
Yeah,
and everything
yeah.
like that. I love that.
we might want to, while we're here at the farm, we can pick up some seeds and get a start.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
our-
Maybe
on our-
maybe a couple.
Yeah, growing a few crops. Here's Violet. Annabelle and Bloom.
Mm-hmm. What so like you have a lot of personalities, and like this isn't something like you just find a manual for. Like you obviously came up with these personalities. So like what so this is a two-parter. Like one, who do you think you had the most fun like creating? And two, sort of like what's like maybe a like from like a developer standpoint, like how did you create like a personality like this? Because it's one thing to throw dialogue, but like you made it meaningful, like to have personality.
Yeah. Again, I go back to the iterative process. Some of these characters, because the game was in development for so long, I wrote them over the course of like 5 years or
Okay.
something, So it was
Wow.
like going back and making sure they had a similar voice. I guess when I go way back, I just wanted to make sure each person, because you don't know who any given player is going to resonate with. You don't know who
That's
they're
true.
going to romance. You don't know who they're going to pursue as their friends, Like, depending on who your friends are, that changes who comes to your wedding later on in the game. So I wanted to make sure that no matter who somebody decided to befriend in the town, there was at least some amount of, you get something out of that relationship.
Yeah.
Like, you learn a little more about them, or you understand why they came to be in Sugar Blossom. So it was important to me that each character feel fully fleshed out, they're not all going to be equally fleshed out, but I didn't want you to just pick a random character and be like, this is the one I identify, like this is the one who I want me to be my best friend, and then you pursue that relationship and it's just like, wow, they're a dud. So like everyone has an equal or relatively equal number of lines of dialogue, and hopefully they're all at least somewhat equally charming and have their own stories. Which reminds me, Cole and Amber, I teased at the end of last
That's
last
right.
episode,
That's right. You left
and
us
I
hanging.
almost completely forgot. But Cole and Amber are based on my brother Matthew and sister-in-law Lauren. So they, like Cole and Amber, live out in the woods, kind of in the mountains, and he plays music, plays guitar, and she makes jewelry, which is exactly what Cole and Amber do, and sort of their slightly hippie-ish vibe is very much inspired by Matthew and Lauren.
Yeah.
Also Kickstarter backers and some of my favorite people in the world. So that's probably the most like directly influenced Sugar Blossom couple from my real personal life.
Yeah.
So
I love that too. How
Yeah.
the influences
Yeah.
of your life carry through to the game.
You take influences from everything.
Yeah.
When you're creating anything, you take influences from your own life and from the people that you know and everything. But most of the time it's kind of like mishmashed. It's like I don't know exactly where that came from. It was probably like a bunch of things
An
put
idea.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Cole and Amber are straight up Matthew and Lauren. Probably the only ones in the town. We're gonna get Sparrow here. I don't know how many more we still got to go. There's Petal as well.
Okay.
Maybe head to the tavern
Yeah,
tonight,
next.
because I think the rainy days especially is good to head inside to the
I mean,
tavern
you
and
know,
meet some people.
In real life.
In real life, yeah.
Same type thing.
There's something about the sound of the rain pitter pattering down.
I hear it now.
As you're drinking your northern brew or whatever you might be drinking.
Oh, Sparrow.
Speaking
He's
of,
so cool. Oh, man.
Another marriage candidate.
this is something maybe we could leave up to comments and feedback. Maybe just like
Yeah.
pursue everybody for now. And
Yeah, keep your options open.
Keep
You
your
know,
options
This
open.
is you're
Yeah.
just meeting everyone day one. You can't like commit to that
Exactly.
idea right away.
Yeah.
Although I am gonna I'm gonna as we go through, I'm gonna be grilling you to figure out who you would pick.
Just wait. We'll wait for the Village Primer. Talk a little more about each of the characters. But for now, I think that's where we're gonna leave this episode. So we will be back soon. I think let's just double check exactly how many more villagers we still gotta meet. So still Dimitri,
Yep,
Benjamin Hunter
yep.
should be easy. Bloom. Oh, we missed Bloom up at the farm.
Yeah.
And a couple
Cole's
other-
still somewhere.
Yeah. Unknown.
Yeah.
But we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, you can get pretty good indeed.
Maybe we can get them all
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah, we'll chase them down.
Yeah.
We'll chase them down.
All right. Thank you for watching. We will see you again very soon.